As I said at the top of the show, I am extremely excited to talk to our next guest because I find him to be a fascinating guy, obviously a rising star, and maybe no longer rising, but just a brutally honest individual, a real and authentic individual, and a really interesting character in the world of boxing. He's returning to action on August 3rd, that big card at BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Perhaps his toughest fight to date against Martin Bakole. He's 17-0. He is the real big baby, Jared Anderson, joining us right now. Hello, Jared. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Happy to be able to continue to do my job and be here.
Well, it's great to have you on the show. I appreciate the time. Love that you're rocking that famous necklace there. We were talking about it before the program.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have a bunch of pictures because my guys were trying to figure out like how much could a thing like that possibly cost with the Cuban link with that thing. Plus, how much does it weigh? It looks like it's pretty heavy, no?
It is very heavy. Not gonna lie, almost every place I go, I do end up taking it off. And 9 out of 10, if I'm with somebody, I give it to whoever I'm with.
Who made that for you?
Nick, the big one, Iceman Nick made it.
Damn. Oh, there's two there.
Yeah, it's this one now.
Oh
And
my
then this
dear
one.
gosh, that has got it. Which one's
Yeah.
heavier?
Definitely the bigger one.
Okay, all right. Well, it all looks great, and you're doing great
Appreciate you.
things, and you're fighting on this big time card. By the way, how do you feel about sharing the card with the other big baby? Is that whack to you? How do you feel about that?
Hey, listen, I'm just here to do my job. I don't really have no preference. Um, I feel like if that fight was needed or was being, called to be made, it would have been made. So I'm just here to do my job and put on the best show that I can. I'm trying to steal the show. I know Bud coming to, make the show, but I'm coming to steal it.
I love it. And I said at the top before we introduced you, I find you to be a fascinating guy, a real guy, an authentic guy, because I feel like you don't sugarcoat things. You say
I don't know.
you say how it is, how you feel, and some people don't know how to process that. Like and we're not going to talk about all the same old stuff, but like when you say things like "I don't love boxing, boxing is my job," I feel like sometimes the boxing media doesn't know how to process that. They're like, "What do you mean you don't love it? Like you're supposed to live and breathe this," but you're just saying. And I appreciate that you're speaking from the heart. And so I wonder if when you do that, and maybe some people can't process it or understand it or don't want to understand it, if that deters you from continuing to speak from the heart and be real in future interviews and future, appearances that you make.
In the beginning, it kind of did, it kind of made me shy away from it to a point. But the more people that I heard reaching out to me and telling me that they loved it, love that part of me, just made me want to push for it even more. Because I can't hide who I am, and it's always been on me to even when I have a feeling towards something, I can't hide it. The expression on my face. If I don't like somebody, you gonna know I don't like them. I can't hide it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not one of those people. So I've always thought to just keep being me, and I think it's worked out for the better. And I really do appreciate you thinking that and saying that I'm very intrigued and that you appreciate that I'm honest and speak from the heart because that's all I can do. I want everybody to understand that I'm a real person. You know what I mean? Like I'm an average person. I'm a regular person, just like anybody else. Although I may be under the bright lights and I may be in a great position or a different position, I'm still a regular person. I go through things. I have emotions. I have my ups. I have my downs. And sometimes my how do I put it? Like the emotions come. Sometimes they come pouring out. And I can't control it. So it just is what it is.
In short, I love that because I feel like sometimes people are putting on a front and are just saying what people want or they think they want people to hear, right? So that they're beloved, so that they're accepted. But you don't seem to care about that sort of thing. And right now, it does feel to me like just looking at you and feeling your demeanor, it feels like you're in a good place. It feels like you're in a happy place. It feels like you're content. You're excited for the upcoming opportunity. Is that an accurate description of how you're feeling right now?
100%. I think this is my best camp yet. Things have been a lot smoother this camp. I've had a lot of extra help. Thank you to Turki Alalshikh, who has gone out his way to, be a part of helping me out this camp and, bringing in uh, the extra help that I didn't, I ain't gonna say I felt like I needed, but I knew I needed an extra boost. And he added that extra boost. just bringing in a lot more of everything, whether it's the social side, the work side, the mental side, just speaking his words of affirmation into me and stuff like that, and letting me know that I'm here for a reason, and that I'm going to continue to do this for a good reason.
How did you link up with Turkey? Because a few months ago, I saw the photo that you took with him. I think he was in New York, and there was like a string of like famous people who stopped by to take photos with him, and he was meeting with them. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, Jared Anderson, interesting. And we knew that he was doing this show in Los Angeles, but to me, it kind of came out of left field. So how did this all come about? You linking up with him?
Me and Turkey have always, I ain't say always, me and him started a relationship like late last year. But the pictures, all those are old pictures and stuff of us just posting and everything. But
Okay.
me and Turkey have had a relationship, and he reached out and DM'd me personally. First I DM'd him. He followed me on Instagram. I DM'd him, let him know, that I appreciated what he was doing for boxing. I thought that the fights that he was making were great. And soon after, I ended up getting invited to the Tyson Fury and Ngannou fight. When I went out there, it was an amazing experience. I got to meet with him, talk with him. He told me what his plans were for boxing, who he thought I was as a fighter, who I was as a person, and that he liked me as a person and appreciated what I was doing. So it just became a great relationship. He texts me on the regular, things that he does and are doing. As far as the plans go, as far as fights and things. So we always kind of in contact. It's just a good friendship to have.
Well, yeah, a very good, I would say. And do you think that his belief in you gave you maybe the boost of confidence, or just maybe like the overall motivation that you needed to feel better about your position in the sport?
I wouldn't say a boost or better because I'm a very confident person. Like I don't show it as much as a lot of people think, or a lot of people think or say I should. Honestly, because to me, I'm a very humble person. A lot of people may not believe that. I don't believe that I speak too highly of myself, but I have the confidence because that was what my parents instilled in me. They instilled that in me when I was a kid that I was going to do a lot of great things. So him backing me just made me want to go for the sport more or less because I know he's a huge fan of the sport, and to see him recognize my talents and see like the difference between me and an average heavyweight, it kind of just gave me the extra boost to be like, okay, well maybe it is some boxing fans who really do want to see me and see what I can do in this sport because like I said before, like it was a means to an end. You know what I mean? I think he gave me that extra push to want to be there for the legacy part.
Ah,
Even though
interesting.
I'm still not all the way there, I still don't 100% agree with the legacy part, but he definitely makes me want to push for it to know that he believes in me that much to know that I can do it.
What do you mean you don't still agree with the legacy part?
Like I believe in it. Don't get me wrong. Like I understand where people come from with it, but I think that's a dream thing. Like for the Olympic part, a lot of people told me they felt that I should have went to the Olympics or I should have just because at the time when I turned pro, I couldn't make like no, it wasn't like it was cruiserweight basically for heavyweights. It was 201. I couldn't technically make it no more. So they told me like, why not just go to heavyweight? Why not just fight? Your sparring partner who you've been sparring. You already know what he fight like, how he look, all that. And I was like, that's not my dream. He been telling me since I've been on the team when we're at 15. Now we 18, 19. He been telling me since we were 15 that was his dream to go to the Olympics. Why would I go fight him? Even if I know I can beat him, not saying that was the case or whatever it is. Even if I know I can beat him, why go fight him for his dream when that's not my dream? My dream is to make sure that my family never has to worry about anything anymore. So that's really my goal, my end goal, like to make sure that my family don't have to worry about anything anymore. So I took the pro route, and as of now, still so far, that's my end goal. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying that once I get there to the point where they won't have to worry no more, that I won't take the next step to be like, you know what? Let me do it for the legacy now. That may come, but at this moment, it's just a means to an end to me. I do understand and respect everybody when they, say that that's what they're looking for or whatever. But I'm here to put on a show. My job is to entertain. So if I come to every fight and do my job correctly and entertain and put on a good fight, then I feel like I did my job well, and especially to get paid. So I leave it at that.
17-0, rising up, you got this big opportunity. Do you feel like you're close to the point where your family is taken care of, or not even close still at this point?
Uh, I feel like I'm at the door.
Okay.
But once you get to the door, you still have to go through, things. And I don't think just opening the door is enough. You have to either kick down the door or you have to, get through that door and then step foot in the next door. So I think I'm at the first door. This is, the breakthrough fight, letting the world know who I am as a person, as a fighter. And then that's when everything will start rolling in.
Do you agree with my statement that this is arguably your toughest fight as a pro?
100%.
Do you like the fight on paper?
Yes, I love it.
Why?
Simply because he has had some opponents, like some named opponents, especially. Uh, he got a good knockout ratio. Mine is just a little bit better, but we fought some pretty good opponents, and I think that me dominating this fight is going to prove who I am and what I am as a fighter.
When Turkey first announced your involvement in this card, he did say that he was hoping that you would maybe fight Deontay Wilder, right? But obviously plans changed on June 1st. When you watched that fight, when you saw him get knocked out by Zhilei Zhang, what were you feeling? Did you feel like a big opportunity was slipping away? Were you bummed? How did you react to that?
Yes, and the only reason I say that is because two big American names, like one saying, well, for one, he's reigned America for a decade at least, and then one who he's had the title since 19 years old, the next great American heavyweight. That clash in America would have been insane. So yeah, I did kind of feel like, damn, that was a great opportunity that slipped away. But I think everything happened for a reason. So,
did you know that Bakole was the backup, or did that only materialize afterwards?
They materialized afterwards.
Okay, but were you confident you'd still have a spot on the card?
Oh, 100%. Turkey had reassured me that regardless, I was going to fight on that card because he had been telling me for some time now that he wanted me on one of his undercards.
Okay, and I think when he announced you, like he referred to you as like some kind of an ambassador. What does that entail? What does that actually mean?
That you would have to more or less ask him. Just know that I appreciate him for everything and Riyadh season, because I am somebody who is going to endorse everything that comes with it, as far as trying to spread the word of Riyadh season and their beliefs and just the season of the sports and everything that they do with it. I want to bring as much attention to them and what they have going on as possible, because when he approached me with it, it was just it was him trying to tell me like he wants to help push the agenda with me, So that was why I'm like, okay, well, why not? Let's slap Riyadh season on everything that I do, hashtag it everywhere so that we can spread the awareness to with their movement and what they have going on.
And are you still affiliated with Top Rank?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so do they have any sort of ties to this particular fight, or is this outside of your deal with them?
Their ties to this fight is me. At the moment, I don't believe they have any other fighters on this card. And so them allowing me to fight on this card was a deal made between them and Turkey's company as far as the promotional rights go. And so that's why my fight I believe the main card will be showed on ESPN Plus.
Oh wow, okay. And are you happy with the relationship with Top Rank now these days?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no problems anymore.
Where did you see the problems?
Well, I know
when I made the post.
Yeah, and
that was okay. So a lot of people misconstrued that, and I was even wrong in that, and I had to own up to that myself. I was wrong in that because Top Rank is not ESPN, and ESPN has their own agenda. They make their own news, they make their own reports and everything else. So the people who work for ESPN were making pretty much a assessment of what they believe was the situation on their behalf, and that had nothing to do with Top Rank. So I that's why I took it down so fast. It literally was up for 4 minutes, but it was more or less me just being angry in the moment because I didn't understand that was ESPN doing what they wanted to do and not Top Rank. Because I felt as though if that was the case as far as it being Top Rank, then why promote me if you were going to just negate what you were trying to do? You know what I mean? But that wasn't Top Rank. That was ESPN, which was them still reporting what they had to report. And like I said at the time, it was just me being a hothead in a very hot moment. But I mean, it's life. I live and I learn. And I know that it was a mistake in the first place, so it shouldn't happen.
I'm happy to hear that because from just my perspective, I feel like Top Rank has promoted you and put you on some big cards, brought you back home, things like that. They've really pushed you since you linked up with them. So I know there's a distinction there, and I know maybe reporting is reporting, and maybe you may not be happy with it, but I feel like they've always kind of put you in the limelight and tried to make you seem like the star that you are. And referring to those maybe lessons that you learned and those run-ins that you had, do you feel like you have turned the corner? Do you feel that you seem to be in a great spot here? Do you feel like you've matured, you've learned from it, you've grown from it, for now you may not make those mistakes in the future?
I learn from everything that I do. I learn every day. That's always been my goal, to never be stagnant and never get stuck. Um, so I don't feel like that I ever got stuck or was at a point that it was like I had to battle with myself about any of those things. It was just a young dumb mistake that won't happen again. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe Top Rank did what they needed to do, because they were one of the first people to call when a situation came about, so that I could get out, and be able to move, well, not move, but go back to Houston to finish training camp for that upcoming fight and stuff. Because they didn't know if we were going to be able to finish the fight originally, but they made sure everything happened so that I could, get back to Houston and get back to training and get my head focused. So I appreciate them for that, and we handle things.
If I refer to you as the future face of American heavyweight boxing and all that, are you okay with that, or would you rather people not?
100%.
You're okay with that? You've.
Yeah.
Am I wrong in saying like maybe a year ago you didn't love that label, you didn't love that title, you would prefer not to have that title on you?
I mean, I'm okay with it simply because it's doing nothing but promoting me more. So the more people say it, the better for me. You know what I'm saying? I had to realize that. Do I care for it? Really don't. But that's just because I that's a personal thing for me. That's like in a legacy way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the personal thing that I just don't care for. If you say it or you don't, it's your opinion. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else's opinion, but it helps promote me and makes me look better. So of course, I mean, I have to take it in now. I have to appreciate it. And know that it's coming from a good place rather than somebody. It's not like anybody's ever trying to tear me down when they say something like that. So I have to be appreciated for it.
Do you agree with it?
Yeah, of course. And the reason I agree with it is because of my caliber of fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like I know what I'm capable of. I know who I've been in there with, and I know what I've done behind closed doors.
How far away do you think you are from like the real big dogs in the division? How many fights away do you think you are from that?
Well, with Turkey playing a part, I mean,
sooner rather than later,
maybe a fight or two.
Oh wow!
Yeah, sooner rather than later. For sure.
Damn. Okay.
I mean, with him being involved, if everything, like I said, like him having the confidence in me and wanting to push me, I don't see why. I mean, well, of course, with contracts and stuff being in the way, things are gonna have to get taken place first. But I'm sure a Tyson Usyk fight, Tyson win this, there's gonna be a trilogy. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, they already set up the AJ fight. So that's easily year and a half, 2 years right there of stuff still being tied up. And that's, because I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I don't personally right now see Daniel Dubois upsetting Anthony Joshua. So that stays with those three at the moment. And I could see that being another year or two before anything opens up. But by that time, having the fights with Turkey or Top Rank, I do believe that I could be in position.
And we do have the Zhilei Zhangs of the world, the Parkers of the world, like those. When I say big dogs, I refer to them as well. So and they've had fights on the Riyadh season card. So that could be next, a fight against a guy like that.
Yeah, I actually asked for Zhang. I mean, everybody's seen, the post I made about Top Rank, but I'm not sure if everybody's seen the post I made about Zhilei Zhang when I said I want to fight him next.
Okay.
I was turned down by him by a birdie. I won't release a name or anything in my source, but for sure, directly after the fight, after he beat Deontay, I said, well, why not fight Zhang? Oh. Why would I wait to fight anybody else or, pick a different opponent when he just beat up the person who I was supposed to fight? So with that being said, I did get turned down for that fight at the moment. I'm not saying it won't happen in the future, but I did get turned down for that fight. So I'm not against that fight at all.
Actually, he's going to be in studio here in about like 40 minutes. So I'm going to ask for his side of that story, if you don't mind.
Okay. Hey, I'm perfectly fine with it. Like I said, I was told I was turned down. I didn't hear it out of his mouth.
We'll see.
So I can't go to say that it didn't it took place 100%, but I know that's what I was told, and it was by somebody I know and trust. So I believe that it happened.
You're known for your incredible walkouts. What can you give us a taste for what we have planned for August 3rd? Is there anything that
Oh man, it's crazy y'all caught me. I'm so upset with myself, but at the same time, I know that it's coming from a good place. I've been so focused this fight. I swear I haven't put in much thought on all of that, the fight outfit and everything. So it won't be as fantastic as it usually is.
okay?
But hopefully this fight means a lot more to the people back home and, the people I truly care about, because it's more of a devotion fight to, some people I lost.
So it's like you're all business. Like you're not here to be dancing with.
No, no,
Okay.
no, no. I ain't with none of that. I'm here to show out and show up and show out. I'm here, like I said, I'm here to steal the show. I ain't here, I know Bud coming to make it, but I'm here to steal it.
Can I ask? You say it's about honoring people that you've lost. Who are you referring to?
It was so somebody just passed who was a close younger friend of mine who I used to box with. When I was about 15 or 16, he just passed, but me and him had very, very close conversations about him getting back into the ring and me trying to, help get him into camps or something like that. And the street life ended up getting a hold to him.
I'm sorry to hear that. Very
Yeah.
sorry to hear that. I saw, in one of those photos with Turkey, you're wearing a Shakur Stevenson shirt, and he's kind of drawn the ire of some fans. He's been on Twitter and stuff like that. I don't know if you've seen. How do you feel about things that people are saying about Shakur and the reaction to his last fight and just like everything going on? Like he's one of the most talked about fighters in the world, but he's coming after everyone. Cameron and Mace are coming after everyone's. I don't know how much you've seen of all this stuff, but you seem to be a fan of his. So I was just curious what your thoughts were on what's going on with Shakur right now.
I'm one of, if not the biggest fan of Shakur Stevenson, and my reasons come more from moral reasons. You know what I mean? I've known him as a person, and when I originally met him, I swear it's the funniest story ever. I thought he was like a huge, excuse my French, dickhead. I thought he was like a complete butthole. I didn't think he was a good person at first, but the more I got to be around him and see him, I realized that he was like a huge family man. He was about nothing but respect. He was just a very, very huge competitor. You know what I'm saying? He always wanted to win and whatever it was. And when we originally met, it was about basketball. And it was him expecting me to act like a bigger man than what I was, but that's not my sport. So I didn't care that much to, really be bullying people around in the paint or nothing. So as I grew to know him, personal reasons, I grew to be a bigger fan of him. You know what I'm saying? I love him personally. So with everything that's going on, I'm gonna be biased regardless, and I completely admit that, and that's why when I come off to say things, I let that be known. So it's never like somebody come and think like, oh well, he's an unbiased person. No, I'm not, and I'm a gladly admit that. You know what I mean? But with that being said, I know him from a boxing standpoint. He's one of the best fighters in the world. I don't care what anybody says. And if you are an actual boxer, then you understand that the skills he has and he possesses that he uses are skills that people wish they had. The reason they talk about it so much is because they don't have those skills, because they don't have the ability to not get hit as much as in fights. You know what I'm saying? The more you get hit, the more damage you take, the more possibility you have of getting knocked out. You know what I'm saying? It only takes one punch in this sport. So when people realize that, the sooner they realize that he is doing his job and he's doing what he's supposed to do. Some people call it boring. They call Floyd boring for years. You know what I'm saying? And he just took on the role of being a villain. I hope that's not the role he has to take on. But I mean, if that's the role he takes on, then I'm happy for him, because it's still going to make him a lot of money. And everybody who bets against him is going to lose.
I love it. I love the support as well. Did you see Boots' fight on Saturday?
Yes, Boots did amazing. Boots is another amazing fighter. I know him personally, been knowing him personally since the amateurs. And it's such a clash between, because I know Bud too, you know what I'm saying? And I know everybody always, that's the first thing people go to. So I'm not saying that's where you're going, but 9 out of 10, that's where you're going. And I hate to, even speak on that, because it's like they both in great times in their life. I can't speak on what's going either way. I just know they both great fighters. I would love to see it happen if it happens. And I'm going to be like a kid in a candy store front row trying to watch it.
That would be incredible. I did want to ask you about one last thing before I let you go, and this has been great, and I really appreciate it. That clip last year, you and Roy Jones had a moment in the
Mm.
ring, and it went viral. And I rewatched it again this morning, and it's such an amazing clip because again, it's just real. It's a legend talking to a rising star. Roy's one of my favorite fighters of all time, and like, who doesn't listen to him? But when you, I don't know when's the last time you saw that clip, or if you saw it at all, you lived it. But there's a moment in there where you talk about the pressure of everyone putting on you as the face of American boxing and all that stuff. And when you said the word pressure, it's like almost like your voice cracked, and you seemed to be a little bit emotional. And it seemed from the outside that the pressure was getting to you a little bit, or it just made you feel some sort of way. And so I'm wondering if you'd watch that clip again a year later or so, how you would feel about it, and if that is an accurate assessment of how you were feeling at the time. I don't think you're feeling that right now. Maybe I'm wrong, but it just seemed like you were a young guy looking up to a legend, talking to a legend. There happened to be cameras, and you were really, a lot of people, I give you credit. Sorry for going long here, but I don't think a lot of people would want that clip out there. And that's when I first like realized like this guy doesn't really care about how people feel about him or what people think, because a lot of people, I feel like athletes would say, don't put that out because that may make me seem soft. But that's what made me like intrigued by you. So anyway, all to say, how do you feel about that clip a year later? And is that an accurate assessment of how you were feeling at the time?
Accurate, yes. And to clear things up, everybody knows TV is TV, and it came out in the episode. So when you realize that, you know that there's things that were put in there and things that weren't. So if you honestly want to know, like, people don't understand. I've never had to, clear anything up because it really don't matter to me. Like when they ask me that, could they post it, could they put it out? I say, yeah, why not? It don't. It's not gonna do anything harmful to me. You know what I mean? And even if it did make me look weak, it just give me an advantage because people gonna come in thinking I'm a softie, and then they gonna realize. But regardless of that fact, um, it was more or less about life itself. You know what I'm saying? People always try and make things about just boxing because I'm a boxer, but that is not my life. You get what I'm saying? Like, yes, I've done this my almost my entire life. I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, but boxing is not my life. Every day that I walk out of that gym, I gotta go home and face my problems. I gotta go home and face what's going on. I gotta go home and face my the problems that I have everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So that's more of the pressures. Like I was saying, at that time I was 23, and I have a mother who is, she's in her 60s, let's put it like that. A father who's in his 60s. I have a sibling that's in jail, been incarcerated for 10 plus years now. I got 8 or 9 other siblings who, aren't doing financially the best. On top of that, I'm introducing a daughter into this world now. At the time I wasn't, but regardless of that, I got so much going on in my life to where it's like, that's the pressure that I'm feeling, that everybody's banking on me. I got a call from my brother. It probably was like a few months before then, where my brother was trying to figure out like, well, how can you help me get out because of your position? And that hit like a nerve for me because it's like, okay, I understand I'm in a great position, but I've never done anything legal. I've been boxing my entire life. And I started this as a kid, so I still got a kid mindset. You know what I'm saying? So me not understanding how to, get through certain challenges through life to help the people that I truly, truly want to help is a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Like, want to help my mom financially, even though I've never had $1 million, knowing that I ain't say I need, but having $1 million to help my mom so that she doesn't ever have to work again is a pressure. Having to, or wanting to talk to certain lawyers to get my brother out, to get him a judicial release, is a pressure. Dealing with, things with my father, and because the person I call my father is not my biological father. So dealing with issues of not having my biological father there and taking on my brother's dad as my father, things like that. Like, those are pressures, and trying to not impress, but make people proud of my family and stuff like that. Those are pressures that people just don't understand. You know what I mean? So it was more of a pressure from just trying to make the people around me proud and also still enjoying life, um, and not being able to do what I want to do, but have to do in order to do that. You know what I mean? That's a huge amount of pressure on such a young kid, while at the same time being called around America the next to great American heavyweight. You know what I mean? So that's stuff that people just don't understand because they don't understand that I'm a human too. And it all kind of boiled over in that one moment. Cause like I said, it was for my brother, my mom, and everything that was going on. And I was asking Roy, like, even though that was the only part they added, I asked him like, what about the girls, the cars, the money, and all that other stuff? But they didn't include everything else that I asked him about. You know what I mean? So that they showed what they wanted to show, and it gave people their own opinion and their own depiction of who I am as a person. So I mean, I let it ride, but I know who I am, and I'm true to who I am. So that's why I continue to speak from the heart.
Much respect to you, Jared. I'm rooting for you, man. I'm really looking forward to this fight, and I love the fact that you are who you are, and you're not afraid to show the world who you are. So I really appreciate this. I really enjoyed it, and can't wait for your fight August 3rd. I think you're going to have a great performance against Martin Bakole, and it's a great opportunity for you. So much respect. Good luck to you, and thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I love being on this show.
Thank you.
I can't even lie. This was a completely different interview than I thought it would go. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate the real questions. Those weren't questions that usually people ask.
You thought we were going to ask you some BS questions? What do you think? We're going to waste your time here?
Listen, I get a lot of Tyson Fury. What happened in the criminal case? Why are you with Top Rank? What is Top Rank done? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of weird BS questions that don't really, speak to me as a person. You know what I'm saying? You really I feel like you kind of connected with me as a person to ask the right questions and stuff. So I appreciate that. I love doing interviews like this. This is the type of interviews that I actually like to do.
Well, hopefully the first of many. And I would love to have you back on. So thank you, Jared. I appreciate those words as well. Good luck on August 3rd.
Thank you so much.
There he is, the real big baby, Jared Anderson. Great stuff out of him. I told you I was really looking forward to that fight. And or that interview, I should say, and the fight. For those that may not have seen that clip that I'm referring to with Roy Jones, because I do think it's very powerful, and even after his answer, even more powerful and interesting. Here it is. Take a look at this.
So one thing I do want to ask you, what stopped you from falling victim to all the extra stuff, all the fast cars, all the beautiful women, going to different countries, and what didn't deter you from, staying focused into your craft?
Like you are right now, you want to make the money to change the world, right? In order to make the money to change the world, you got a choice to make. You can take chances, drink, party, smoke, bad women, fast cars, motorcycles. All those things are risky as to stopping you from getting where you want to go.
My mom, my parents, they instilled in me as a kid who I was and what I would be. That I was gonna change something, that I was gonna be better. I was gonna be different, period. And boxing is never gonna make me not be that. I know I'm good at this and I know I can have fun in this, but this might not just be what completely make me happy.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this. The higher power gave you more. When there's more given, more is expected. So guess what? Jerry has an obligation to the higher power, to all of those back in Toledo where he came from, to his mother, to succeed. That's just the obligation that comes with it. You let a lot of people down if you quit right now. People that love you for real. Some people that'll give their life for you, because your mama give her life right now for her son. You understand that?
But it's the pressure, though.
I understand the pressure, but God built us different. Did you just tell me that?
I'm 23.
So sometimes there's a lot put on us, but it's put on us because we're the ones that can take it. Jared may not think he can sometime. Jared may get messed up sometime, but Jared can wear these shoes. That's why Jared has it. You understand me?
But Jared ain't asked for it.
Too bad. Jared has a destiny that Jared can't run from. And Jared ain't no coward, I already know that. Right? So Jared may as well make up his mind and let's go. You gotta ride that horse, son. I'm sorry. You gotta ride that horse. I rode it. You ain't gotta ride it till the wheels come off, but you gotta ride it. You understand me? You gotta ride it till you get where you wanna be in life, then you can get off of it. But we're gonna ride that horse. That's just what we gotta do, all right? My man.
That's incredible stuff right there. And I really do think Top Rank has done a great job of promoting him. So I'm happy he cleared that up. Jared Anderson returns August 3rd. Hope you'll check it out. A real talent worth watching.